embark on a path to cultivating research and advanced learning among experienced professionals. A hearty welcome to the participants of the Executive Batch 2024. To our inaugural cohort of students, congratulations on your decision to pursue this challenging and rewarding journey. You are now part of an allied group of scholars who will not only advance knowledge but also influence the practices in your respective industries. I'm sure your diverse experiences and insights will enrich our academic community and drive meaningful research outcomes. I take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest of the day, Professor Janet Shah, former director IIM Udaipur and BOG member IIM Vishakhapatnam. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Professor has an illustrious career marked by numerous accomplishments and contributions. We are truly fortunate to have you with us today. We are eager to hear your insights and to learn from your vast experience and wisdom. Once again, a hearty welcome to you, sir. I also extend welcome to our director, Professor M. Chandrasekhar, our executive PhD chairperson and dean, research Professor Amit Shanker, and admissions chair, Professor Prashant. Welcome, professors. I would also like to extend special welcome to all the faculty members who have joined us here today. Your presence underscores the importance of this program and the collective commitment to fostering a robust and academic environment in our institute. I also welcome to all the other dignitaries present, our staff colleagues, and the PhD students. A warm welcome once again to all of you present here. It's a great honor to stand before you as the Dean Administration of IIM Vishakhapatnam and celebrate this momentous occasion with you all. Let me take this opportunity to present the batch profile of the Executive PhD Program 2024. The cohort is truly exceptional, and it's my pleasure to share the profile showcasing the diversity, talent, and experience that each one of you brings to this program. So this executive PhD admission process was conducted in three phases. In phase one, the candidates were asked to submit an online application form which consists of their personal and professional achievements and recommendation forms. In phase two, for all the candidates who met the minimum eligibility criteria, they were asked to pre-PI scores were prepared based on their past academic performance, work experience, research potential, and were shortlisted based on the pre-PI cutoffs. We conducted two levels of interview. First, an area level interview, and those who qualified for the area level interview were invited for an expert panel interview. The final composite scores were prepared using multiple parameters, including past academic performance, research potential, and their performance in the two rounds of interview. So we had 96 applications. Out of that, 63 were shortlisted for the area level interview, and 35 were shortlisted for the expert panel interview. And today we have here with us 16 participants who have actually accepted our offer and joined us for the 2024 batch. In terms of gender diversity, the female representation is 25% and the male is 75%. Coming to the graduation discipline, engineering constitute 44% of the batch with science 38 and remaining 19% from commerce. The state of domicile of the participants, so we have the highest number of representation from Maharashtra. 6 participants are from Maharashtra, remain 4 from Andhra Pradesh, 3 from Karnataka, 2 from Telangana, and 1 from West Bengal. Coming to the age group, the average age of the batch is around 44 years. And work experience, the average work experience of the batch is 17 plus years. So 38% of the batch have work experience between 15 to 20 years. And we have representation from all the major industry. The 38% of the batch is coming from IT industry, and financial services and healthcare contribute 19 percentage each. So these are some of the organizations from where the participants have joined us. And these are the list of the participants who have joined us. So let me also take a uh, opportunity to briefly introduce all of the participants who have joined us here. Uh, Mr. Makarand Devidas Kulkarni, who has joined in the decision science area. He is a senior program manager at Harman International. He has more than experience of 14 years in product development ranging. Welcome, Makarand. We have next, we have Mr. Reggie Sen. He is the Vice President, Corporate Finance and Corporate Strategy at Continental Hospital. He has joined here in the finance and accounting area. He's a chartered accountant having work experience of 17 plus years. He's a first attempt CA, having achieving an All India 9th rank in the foundation. He's also a teacher and a visiting faculty. Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Durga Kata. She's an associate director with UBS. She has also joined us in the finance and accounting area. She's an accomplished finance professional with over 13 years of experience in the industry. Earlier, she has worked in Franklin Templeton for nearly 9 years and at Cognizant before she joined UBS. Welcome, Durga. Next, we have Mr. Ravi Shetty. He's a product manager at SAPS Lab India Private Limited. He has joined in the information systems area. Yeah, he is specializing in defining and delivering capabilities for business network and with focusing on supply chain collaboration and logistic network. He has 19 years of extensive experience at SAP Labs. Next, we have Mr. Sagnik Ghosh. He's Chief Data Architect of Velocity Clinical Research. He's having 24 years of IT experience in a clinical trial, banking, and financial services. He had held key positions at Hexaware, at Paraxel, and software engineer at Amphora before taking up this position. Welcome, Mr. Ghosh. Next, we have Ramalal Mitra Saripalli. He's a lead operation strategy and program management at Merative Technologies India Private Limited. He has also joined in the information system area. He has a robust 22-year experience in the industry. So he has earlier worked in Crompton Greaves, Tata Consultancies, Thomson Reuters, and IBM before taking up the current role. Next, we have Rajsekhar Pativada. He's a manager at Punjab National Bank who has also joined in the information system area. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. We have Jyoti Prakash Mohapatra, who's a joint president of Aditya Birla Group, who has joined in the marketing management area. He has experience of more than 22 years in various leadership roles and in Vista Arvind, now in Aditya Birla Group. Welcome. Next, we have Mr. Manoj Nair. He's a senior director and Latespire Consulting Private Limited. He's also joined us in the marketing management area. He has also over 20 years of experience in strategy and program management, and he has worked with companies such as Bajaj Auto, Deloitte, and Dr. Reddy's before taking up this position. Welcome, Mr. Manish. Next, we have Rakesh Kumar Asil. He's the Deputy Vice President of Trust Investment Advisors Private Limited. He has also joined us in the marketing management area. He has 12 plus years of work experience in financial services, in ratings, treasury, and investment banking. He has He's currently responsible for NBFC origination at the Trust Group right now. Welcome. Next, we have Ms. Prerna Bed, Director, ACN Infotech India Private Limited, who has joined us in the marketing management. Is a director and currently is chairperson of Jito Ladies Wing, Visakhapatnam as well. One more thing, she is now enrolling for the third program here at IIM Visakhapatnam. She has been a student of PGCEP, PGPX, and now Executive PhD, and she was the gold medalist for both the earlier programs. Welcome, Prerna. Next, we have Mr. Dhirendra Nath. He's the Chief People Officer at SLK IT Private Limited. Yeah, he is also a senior human resource leader with vast experience. He held key positions at Wipro, Dr. Ladies Lab, and Pantaloons earlier. We have Ms. Deepa Etnar Badi, who's the Assistant Vice President at Infosys Limited, who has joined at in the OBHR area. She also has more than 2 decades of extensive HR experience. Earlier, she was with Tata Auto Plastic, and her career began at the Actec Limited. Welcome, Ms. Deepa. We have Ms. Poonam Singh, Deputy General Manager at Larsen and Toubro, who has joined us in the OBHR area. She has also 17 years of experience, and earlier she had worked at Vedantu and Future Group. Welcome. Next, we have Mr. Subrat Kumar Sahu, who is the Vice President JSW Steel, who has joined us in the Production and Operations Management. He has also have 16 years of experience in the industry. He is also a PGCEP and PGPX student and joining us again for the Executive PhD program. We have Saripalli Achyuta Ram Mohan, who's a Senior Project Manager at IBM Limited, again in the home area. He is a professional with 19 years of experience in different IT and ITS industry. Welcome. Once again, a hearty welcome to all of the participants and all those who are present here. And I would like to congratulate each one of you for joining this. And I'm sure your presence here is a testament to your dedication and ambition, and it will serve as a beacon of excellence and innovation. Let us all work together to create an enriching, supportive, and intellectually stimulating environment that will inspire research and transformating learning. With this, I entrust the students of the Executive PhD Batch 2024 to the Executive PhD Program Chair, Professor Amit Shanker. I now invite Professor Amit Shanker, Chairperson, Executive PhD, and our Dean Research for his address.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Director Sir, Janet Sir, Dean Academics, Dean Administration, Admission Chair, all faculty colleagues, PhD scholars, and Executive PhD scholars. On behalf of IIM Visakhapatnam fraternity, I welcome you all for this journey of PhD. And I will answer some. I have 4 questions to answer here when I'm giving you welcoming address. Why, what, how, and when. So whenever I used to visit this industry, I say that I did this research, this is my paper. I did this, that's how I collected the data. These people see like paper like aliens. I have asked similar question 3 times. What is this? And I thought that is my research is irrelevant? It's not making sense to them. And then I understood it's not that what we are doing is different. The approach is different, how they are taking the problem. Now let's say they want to solve the problem. We generally want to identify the problem and try to give perspective of the it rather than solving it. So to take and to make this platform equal, Executive PhD one platform and one idea that they will also understand the process of research. So when next time I will visit some of the industry, they will understand what I am saying. So that is the idea, and that's why we started it. And same time, new education policy come with one idea: you should involve practitioners into the education, because nowadays it's all about skills rather than from where you are getting the knowledge, what knowledge you are getting. End of the day, industry is looking for skill sets, and you people are veteran into it. And when you will come to our institution and share your practical knowledge with the theoretical background we which have built, it will be the unique combination. uh, Everyone is saying there is a gap between industry and academia. We all agree with it. Student always claim whatever you are teaching, sir, I am not using it in industry. They are doing something else. There is gap. There is a gap between academia and industry. That's why yesterday someone came to me, thanks for selecting me. As academician, I say, I failed to reject you. I did not select you. But we can't select hypothesis. We can only fail to reject hypothesis. And that is the difference. And with this program, hope that we will able to bridge those gaps. That's why we started executive PhD. Believe me, it was not very easy decision to take that we should start executive PhD. We have received several requests. Directors are always ask every faculty, why don't you are starting executive PhD? Many requests he has received. It took us 8 to 9 years to come on decision that now we will start executive PhD. Because when you are seeing the cohort, most of people are having more experience than in research. And then saying that should we go for it? But believe me, you are expert in your area, we are expert in our area. Whatever little experience we are having, we both have different skill set. And when we will come together, the new child of this different of skill set definitely will have better result. That's why we started it. Now, what we will do in executive PhD? In executive PhD, always PhD is a journey. It's 1 kilometer of depth. So you have to identify one problem, which is very easy for you. Executive PhD currently comparatively easier than regular PhD. Why? Because regular PhD people will spend 1 or 2 years, do literature review to identify the problem. You are seeing 100 problem every day. You have to just select one problem out of those 100 problem. So the 2 year you can save in identifying the problem. And that is the process. You have to identify the problem and try to give different perspective of the problem that what could be the probable solution for it. So in the 4 year of journey, what we will do, we will try to solve some of the problem which you are seeing day in, day out. Then the $1 million question, how we'll do it? Yesterday we had the orientation program, everyone, and someone asking, what is the probability that I will fail? I said, there is no probability that you will fail. There is high probability. There is probability, and statistics is saying, I think someone, yeah. So someone said that, someone said that what is the probability that I fail this PhD program? I say, there is less probability when I'm seeing previous historical data, there is less probability that you will fail, but there is probability that you will leave the program. It's not very easy decision, because now you have three front. You have to see your family, you have to see your job, and same time your supervisor will ask you to read 100 papers. So do managing things is not very easy task. Every day, I was discussing yesterday that every day, and you will think, did I take a wrong decision? That moment, just be there, go with flow, keep your patience, and you will get this degree. So more than anything, two things is required: your patience and your intent. If you have these two things, you will get your degree done. There is no I'm very much sure that you have that credential, that you will pass course work, whatever it is. You will go with CQ very easily. You will do research very easily. But only thing, you have to manage this balance between your work and this place. I asked them, it's not tough task for you again, because you are managing, you are already managing two bosses, right? One at your home, one at your office, or you are managing your family, or you are managing organization. So if you are managing two things, now you have to manage this third thing, which is your PhD. So I don't say in because if you can manage your boss or two bosses, it's very easy to manage the PhD. So I don't think it's very challenge, but just keep your patience, because uh, moment will come when you will think that I have taken wrong decision or right decision. Just be there. It will be end of the day. It will be fruitful for you. Now, last question: when to do? It is too early for me, or it's too late for me. This is the question all executive people are asking. It's never too early, never too late. Whenever you are starting, it's all about what you want in end of the day. So whatever someone started after having experience of 20 or 30 years, someone starting experience of 10 years, which is minimum, for both journey will remain same. Your process will remain same. Whenever you are starting end of the day, we all want that you should get and you should come up with flying colors. As Dean Research, as PhD, Executive PhD Chair, uh, I say all the best to you. All the best for your tough journey, which is coming in your path. But I am very much sure, because I interacted with you people 4 5 times during this journey. I know that you have capacity, potential, capability to complete this journey with flying colors. Thank you very much. And once again, I will welcome you all to IMBS Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Amit, for your encouraging words to the participants. Uh, Dear friends, I am Vishakhapatnam is growing leaps under the able leadership of Professor M. Chandrasekhar. He's a founding director of our institute since March 2017. I now invite Professor M. Chandrasekhar for his address.
Thank you, Professor Kaveri. Let me add my own word of welcome to all the aspiring doctoral degree holders who have enrolled in our executive PhD program. Let me also begin by expressing my deep sense of gratitude to Professor Janet Shah, a proven researcher, an academic leader par excellence, a much respected and distinguished personality in the committee of IIMs, and who has in the various positions that he has held at IIM Bangalore and at IIM Udaipur, wherever he went, he brought excellence. So we are fortunate that today, accepting my request, he is here with us to interact with you, to address you, and I'm sure there will be many takeaways for you as well as for me and my colleagues here from his address. Well, friends, you are kind of part of the first ever batch of the executive PhD in this institute. We were established in 2015, and now we are in 2024. So within a decade, as Amit said, it took a lot of deliberation at our end as well to come to this decision. I'm very happy that some of our who were students earlier have continued to repose faith in what we impart here. I have 3 or 4 who are already kind of familiar with our system here. I sometimes I wonder whether I should call students or participants. So I could be switching between one of them, given your long years of experience, wealth of expertise. But as Amit said, it's always, I'm fond of quoting this, that leadership, as John F. Kennedy said, the 33rd or 35th president of the United States, he said, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. So if you have to be a true leader, whether it is you or me, we need to be always in the learning mode. And that you have chosen to deep dive into this learning mode. As Amit mentioned, research is all about gaining such great expertise that the world will sit up and notice your skills and knowledge in that domain. So choosing a very narrow area and delving so deep into it that you know better than anyone else in the field. That's how the aim should be. And as Amit mentioned, with your experience and expertise, it's very easy to identify a problem for which you would like to find a solution in terms of research. So you have a lot of data with you. You have a lot of understanding about the problem. What the faculty members will bring to you is the theoretical framework, the precepts that go into understanding a particular problem, and the combination of precepts from this side and the practice from your side will make, I'm sure, your research very, very successful. And you know, when research is, I mean, all of us have gone through this. All my faculty members who are PhDs from top-notch business schools of this country, all of us have gone through this exercise. And as Amit said, many a time one would think whether you had taken the right decision. But believe me, you know, as my professor always used to say, these 2.5 letters are important for one's life. You know, this is 2.5 means P capital, H capital, small d, or H small, capital D. So these 2.5 letters are very, very important because this is the highest qualification that any academic institution in the world can bestow on any individual. After that, there could be some postdoctoral fellowship pursuits, etc. But in terms of formal qualification, PhD is the highest degree that anyone can acquire. That you have chosen to enroll in this program of PhD, that you have chosen to dedicate your time, energy, invest your time, energy, effort in this pursuit is in itself laudable and very, very appreciation worthy. You know, the first 20 years of my career, I had also spent in the corporate world. Incidentally, one participant is from L&T. I had also worked in mid-80s in L&T. Started off with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, then went into L&T, then Industrial Finance Corporation of India, so on and so forth. I would always think whenever I was passing by a great academic institution, when I was in the corporate world, I would think, oh, if I were to get a chance to teach there, how nice it would be. And then, you know, gradually the realization sank in me that, you know, you need to have a PhD and you need to pursue that in all right earnestness. You must do well in that, etc., etc. Then only you can aspire to get into the portals of an academic institution. And hence, you know, you are also on the same path, having proven yourselves as good leaders in your institutions. You are combining now what you know with the theoretical knowledge about it. And that's going to be a very potent combination for your success in life. One piece of advice which I would give you is we also have young PhD scholars who have enrolled in the program who are sitting at the back, and do collaborate with them. You know, in terms of data collection, compilation, collation, all that you have. But they can, for example, there are several things to research. You know, you need to know what is happening in the world. Has anyone else done research in this area? How far have they gone? What have been their findings, etc. So to bring the theoretical perspective, you need the young colleagues, young PhD scholars. And so do collaborate with them and do try and publish papers with them. So it will be adding the forces, you know, you will be joining forces with them in your research pursuit. That is one advice. Secondly, actively, as Amit said, true, many of the faculty members could be younger than you in age and experience. But believe you me, they come with impeccable research credentials. You have enrolled in this program to sharpen your research skills. They have already proven themselves in the research domain. They have top-notch publications. For example, the Dean Research, by the time I blink, he would have published in an A journal or an A-star category journal. So such is the prowess that he brings. You know, 2 days back, I was in a valedictory session for a program that he runs, a faculty development program on partial least squares and structural equation modeling. And I mean, all the participants were praising Amit Shanker and the way he delivered the program very well. And a few of them said, and I'm quoting, I liked it. You know, many of them said how lucky doctoral scholars under Professor Amit Shanker must be, because he has explained all the concepts in such a lucid way, which our own guides, our own researchers, our own supervisors have not done at all. So such is the praise that he received. So all of you will be beneficiaries of guidance, not just from Amit Shanker, but all my colleagues who are sitting here, because as I say, they come with the single agenda of, you know, making you succeed in life, making your research successful. and they will put their best, they will invest their best in you. What you need to have is, as Amit rightly put it, the passion or the intent to pursue this long journey, and the time invested, so that if you dedicate more time, you will gain more and more knowledge about the subject about which you are trying to research. That's another thing. Other piece of advice I would like to give all of you is, do publish case studies. There are faculty members of mine, Vishakha is there, Amit Chakraborty is there, who are known to publish cases along with their students, who have proven, and these case studies are published in very, very, very respected repositories like Harvard Business School's repository, or Ivy, or other, Asia Case Research Center, or the Case Center UK, etc., etc. So do focus on publishing case studies, because if you publish a case study, it may not qualify as a research publication, but a lot of writing skills improve. Writing skills, how to present a problem, how to deal with it, how to answer questions. And, if you publish case studies, I promise we will get them published. Even if they are not published by the Asia Case Research Center or whoever, we will publish them as a booklet. So we will publish them, and which we could use for, and with due credit to all of you who as others would contribute. And that could be a good material for us, courseware for us when we teach in our flagship MBA programs. Given your experience and expertise, now that we are closer as a family, we will be making demands on your time to contribute to our executive education programs also. So we might ask you to teach in some of them, so that the participants get diversity of experiences, diversity of knowledge. So we would be making a call on you from time to time. We have authors, in fact, Sahuji has published a book on supply chain resilience. So, we have already people who have proven their mettle, not just as practitioners, but also hardcore researchers and hardcore academics. In fact, Mohapatraji, we are going to invite him in the evening to address in one of our executive education programs, a program on strategic product management that we are launching today. And we requested him to share his ideas in that. Why am I mentioning this? There will be opportunities aplenty for collaborating while you do your research, because given your, as I say, the experience, we would also leverage that, to enrich our own teachings for the younger cohorts. So be prepared for that as well. All of you will have, Amit would, of course, would have told you, all of us would go for an immersion in the University of Agder at Norway. All of you would visit that. You will spend time there. There are brilliant researchers there, brilliant professors who have published who keep publishing in top-notch journals there. You will get the opportunity of global exposure, and then your research will become that much more richer. So look forward to that opportunity, and more details about that Amit will kind of give you. I think that is about it, that more or less which I wanted to share. I would like to say that we would consider ourselves fortunate, as much as you might be considering entering the portals of IIM Visakhapatnam, that we have a good cohort, a very experienced cohort, and the only expectation, as Amit and others have said, is that you must commit yourselves fully to the program. It is a rigorous program. It is a demanding program. PhDs do not come by easily in IIMs. Once I heard a person say that, the markets, he was talking about markets. Markets in India are like an onion. You have to peel layer by layer to understand it, and you get tears in your eyes. Research is also like that. You have to peel it layer by layer, and more often than not, you will have tears in your eyes. But then buck up, pull up your socks. And as Amit said, if you are there sticking on, you will complete the journey. And after that, there is no looking back. One last sentence. We are proud, extremely proud of our PhD graduates. About 2-3 of them have graduated. And it wouldn't be an exaggeration if I say business schools have lined up to hire them as faculty. So even before they complete the defense, some of my PhD scholars have received offers from top-notch business schools of this country. So that shows the training you will receive as a scholar doctoral scholar here. That shows the rigor that our faculty will drill into you as a researcher. Only thing is you need to make time for it. You need to match to the expectation, rise to the expectations of our faculty, and success will be there, certainly yours. I'll add Amit Shanker in wishing all of you the very best of luck, and do publish, because if you do not publish, Professor Janet Shah has set such high benchmarks for research in IIM Udaipur, it's difficult for any other institutions to match. And he has driven that, kind of a very, very focused agenda there. Publishing is important. And these days, for example, you ask me, I don't hire any faculty. All 40 faculty members have been hired by me in these 7 years as a director, along with other experts. We will not hire a faculty unless the faculty or the prospective faculty has a publication. Full stop, period. So you must publish, and always focus on publishing in an A-star journal or an A category journal or a UT Dallas 24 list, which is popularized by IIM Udaipur, or an FT 50 journal, Financial Times 50 journal, because these are the ones which will establish your arrival on the scene. If you want to be recognized as a thorough researcher, thoroughbred researcher, deep researcher, you must have a publication, a top-notch publication to accredit. So study with that focus, do research with
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom and encouragement to the students. Now, I request Professor Prashant, our admissions chair, to introduce the chief guest.
Thank you, Professor Kaveri, and a very good morning to all of you. As the admissions chair, today I have the privilege to introduce our chief guest, Professor Janet Shah. Professor Janet Shah is a member of the Board of Governors, IIM Visakhapatnam. Professor Shah obtained his BTech degree in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Bombay in 1980 and is a fellow in Operations Management from IIM Ahmedabad 1989. After graduating from IIT Bombay and prior to his FPM from IIM Ahmedabad, he worked in the industry for close to 5 years. He started his academic career in 1989 with the Institute of Rural Management, Anand, as an assistant professor in the Production and Operations Management area. He then joined IIM Bangalore as assistant professor of Production and Operations Management in 1991. He was appointed as associate professor in 1996 and professor in 2001. At IIMB, during 2007-9, he was the chairperson, Center for Supply Chain Management, and chairperson, postgraduate program during 1999 to 2002. Professor Shah has also held international faculty positions, including honorary professor, Nottingham Business School, UK, visiting professor, the Logistics Institute, NUS Singapore, visiting researcher, the Sloan School, MIT Boston, and professional leadership, including chairperson, CII SCM Certification Committee, CII National Logistics Council, President, Society of Operations Management, member, Society of Operations Management Executive Council. Professor Shah has also served as chairman of AIB Management Studies AICTE, chairperson of EADS SMI Chair Advisory Council, member on Board of Governors IIM Bangalore. He was also member on the editorial board of International Journal of Procurement Management. As chairman AIB Management Studies AICTE, he has been able to influence the board for creating the system of graded autonomy for management educational institutions. As an author, Professor Shah has written supply chain management text and cases, which was published by Pearson Education India. And as a researcher, he has contributed to multiple prestigious management journals, which are recognized internationally. Some of these journals include European Journal of Operations Research, International Journal of Production Economics, Journal of Operational Research Society, and Operations Research Letters. Professor Shah has served as the president of Seva Mandir's board. Seva Mandir addresses the problems of resource management, livelihoods improvement, and village level governance in 700 rural villages in southern Rajasthan. He has received Best Faculty Overall Student Award in 1999, IBM Faculty Award in 2004, 2005, and 2008, Professor M.C. Puri Award, Operational Research Society of India in 2017, and Change Maestro and Institution Builder of the Year Award by Industry Academia Conference 2018. We welcome you, sir. I would now request Professor Janat Shah to address the gathering.
Thanks, Prashant, for those kind words. Sometimes you get worried when somebody describes you in this particular way. But I've had a very long academic journey. And first, congratulations to the batch. I'm sure, being part of a first executive PhD program is any pioneering batch. It's exciting, but especially something of this kind is very exciting. So congratulations. I looked at this when I was listening to Professor Kaveri about the rigorous selection process which you all gone through. And when I was listening to the profile of each one of you, right? It's really impressive. So again, congratulations for getting through this rigorous selection process. And also want to congratulate Vishakhapatnam faculty to put together this wonderful program. What I'm going to do is to, just add to the sort of this conversation in terms of what is this whole, journey of executive PhD would look like. I'm sure you spend a lot of time thinking about it, right? It's not an easy decision, but I want to compliment you for taking that decision. Because, when you look at the future, right? Today we're talking about India being the 5th largest economy with ambition to be, over a period of time, if you look at certain projection, we want to be number 2 over a period of time. Now, some of this would require, we are going to be a future which is going to be knowledge intensive. And that's where in the future, whichever role one wants to take up, whether one wants to continue contributing to industry or whether some of you want to look at academic as a part of a future career. I think this whole research way of thinking is going to play a very important role. Today as a country, we spend really very little. We just spend about 0.7% of our GDP on research and development. And the future is going to be different. So somewhere research is going to play a very important in the time to come. So in that sense, you made this decision where you decided to invest in yourself. So I want to compliment you. Now, so I just want to talk about few issues based on several of the, people who have gone through similar journey. We had an opportunity to hire 4, executive FPM participants at IIM Udaipur. Several of my students from IIM Bangalore have participated in this journey. So, from their experiences, I thought I just want to share a few thoughts which you may want to keep in mind when you're going through this journey. First, I'm sure you thought through it, but it's going to hit you hard. That's a very, very different from what you've done so far, right? You've been very successful. When I was looking at your profile, you've done extremely well in your industry, very senior positions. You've done several, programs, management programs. But, there, our focus is on problem solving, right? we want to solve the problem, and bias for action. That's what is, makes you, the reason why you there is because you excelled in that. And suddenly you will find here that here you're going to, talk about it in a very different way, where you want to look at the problem. You want to look at the problem in a multiple ways, in a very nuanced way. And that suddenly you will find is very different way of working, different way of thinking. So that's going to, take some time to sink in. That suddenly, from this bias for action, problem solving, to thinking about problem in a multiple ways. You'll also find that this whole PhD initially, right? Obviously, all of us want to change the world, right? And I'm sure when you pick up your PhD problem, you want to change the world, right? Through that problem. What you will discover is PhD is a process. As some of the colleague talked about, it's a journey which is equipping you the way you look at issues. So, this problem which you're going to pick up, the idea is not that you're going to solve the problem of the world through your thesis, but the whole idea that you're going to pick up necessary skills, way of thinking through this journey. So it's very important to recognize that what is important is the journey, and very likely, as all of us have discovered, that the problem, your thesis, is not probably the most important research you're going to do. It's going to equip you in a way. Essentially, PhD gives you license in some sense, saying that, okay, now we think you picked up enough skills to look at problem in a rigorous way, right? So one of the issue which I want you to, especially, it's true for every PhD program, but much more for an executive PhD program, is to recognize that you have to balance so many things. Actually, I'm not sure I can do it, right? Where you're going to balance your work life, right? In terms of, because you're in a demanding positions. So there are demands on you there. At your stage in life, there are demands from the family side and managing this. So I think the way you're going to look at the program is one of the most important thing is going to be the discipline part. That you do need a discipline where you're going to say, how do I balance all this and find every day 2 hours, right? In a consistent way. What you will find, I'm sure, since all of you have excelled, we talk about the time management part, right? There's this whole quadrant we talk about in terms of what is urgent and what is important. What you will find that this whole PhD program, bulk of the activities you will do are going to come in, important but not urgent category. So with a result, I'm sure there'll be a tendency to say, this is something I can do at later stage. But it'll be important to make sure you keep giving time to it on a consistent way. Now, initially, when you're doing certain coursework, faculty will drive to some extent some part of the discipline. But once, you move to your thesis, you will find it's you who will have to drive that. So having that discipline of finding time on a consistent way, because I've seen several of the executive PhD participants, somewhere after the coursework, lose the momentum for several reasons. One of them being that, I can always postpone this, nobody's pushing me. So make sure you work in a disciplined way. find way of, maybe one way is getting your spouse to, keep asking you that question, right? That, okay, what have you done? Have you met your goals for this week or this month? Kind of thing. But I think it'll be important. Second, don't wait for to find the solution or saying, how do I make sure that my research work is really path breaking? I think none of us do individual work which is path breaking. I think the research process is there such that we are part of a building in a larger ecosystem. And your collective work will make a difference. So, don't be under this whole pressure that this work would be such that will change the world. I think ensuring a discipline, somewhere trust your thesis advisor and the committee, which will tell you that I think, this much is enough, right? You don't have to keep waiting and say, I've done something which is going to change the world. Okay. So keep some of those, thoughts when you look at this journey. Second, celebrate your own experience. I think most of us, who come through the PhD route primarily focus on the literature, right? All of us look at saying, here is a gap in literature. And somewhere, if you're not careful, you will not give enough importance to your own experience. Your real advantage is that you have that, we keep talking about the bridging this academic industry gap. I think your strength is you bring that to table here. So do take advantage of us. I mean, one of the huge advantage you have is your access to data, right? So I'm not saying necessarily pick up the problem as it is, but make sure you work with a familiar context, because that's where you'll be able to bring your strength, right? Because if you go purely through a literature, very likely, without realizing, you might end up a problem which you're working on, which has very little to do with your own, deep experience. Do celebrate your own experience and make sure. I'm not saying again that you have to exactly pick up that problem, but the context is very important, and you'll find that will make it more rewarding. Because you're going to juggle your work as well as this, if you take up a context which is from your work experience, then you'll find you'll also add value to your work also. So somewhere, how do I do this in a way? It obviously makes a great research work, but it also adds value to your own work. And somewhere figuring it out, that's very important. Recognize that everything is a resource. Okay. Faculty is a resource. Your workplace is your resource. Your cohort is your resource. The full-time PhD students is a resource. I think do learn to use those resources. I think somewhere, because you're so successful, there'll be tendency today that I can do on my own. I think PhD is and generally research is a collaborative process. So do recognize, and you don't have to master everything, right? I mean, honestly, when I look at what work I've done, several areas, my doctoral students always knew more than me. And somewhere we complement each other. So do recognize that you don't have to necessarily master everything, and look at everything as a resource. The relationship between faculty and doctoral student is a very different kind. So do recognize that most of us look at doctoral student, whether it's a full-time doctoral student, executive doctoral student, a future colleague. So do recognize that you're very different, right? Compared to when we talk about, MBA program or any other program, right? So look at all of us, right, as a resource, because that's the only way, especially because you're juggling so many things, right? Do recognize this. The, you know, as Professor Chandrasekhar talked about, you're going to get opportunity where you're going to possibly take part in some conferences, look at certain researchers from all over the world, right? What you'll realize is at least the management, right? Unlike probably maths or a physics, there's nobody who's genius, okay? And you'll realize that the difference between somebody who's considered the scholar who is top up there and you is not huge, okay? It's just, persistence, staying with the problem, with a discipline will make a difference. So somewhere when you meet some of the people, you realize that all of us can make it, right? It's not as if somebody who's there is very different from all of us. So I think somewhere just interacting with this outstanding researchers do help you in understanding that you also, all of us, have that possibility. Thing. The recognize that research is global in nature, and so somewhere whenever you're looking at a work, finally you're a part of a global research pool, and do interact with other faculty, other doctoral students from all over, right? I think one thing we should recognize is that you're not competing within this group, right? And actually you're all colleagues, and you will discover at later point in time that your cohort is actually one of your biggest strength. During the journey, there are going to be lots of ups and downs, right? It is a lonely journey at several points in time. And that's where your cohort are going to be helpful. And similarly, as I said, researcher from anywhere. So do recognize that you're a part of a global research pool and look at help anywhere and derive strength from your cohort group. Because as I said, you're not competing with each other. I think somehow all of us have a tendency to look at our cohort as a competition, but you realize you're not competing with each other. We're all trying to contribute to a global pool of research, and that's where taking advantage and support from everybody around you will be very useful exercise. And I'm sure during this journey, there are going to be periods where, as Amit talked about, you might say, what I'm trying to do here, right? Because it's a long journey. It's not a, and there are going to be difficulties, there are going to be challenges, because you're also getting into a lot of terrain, which is unknown terrain. First time you're there, you get lost. I mean, that's a part of a journey, right? So during that period, it's very important to trust the process. Because, a lot of time when you look at something, it'll look like as if it doesn't make sense to me, right? Why am I doing this? So somewhere this idea that you are in a system, you're in a process where people have well thought through, the program, right? You're in a great institution which has built a reputation in such a short time. We look at some of this from a board level, that institution which balances teacher and high quality research. Right? It's spent enough time thinking through about, is this the right time to introduce the program? Right? It has critical mass of faculty who done outstanding research. It is first, structured and completed the full-time PhD program before introducing this. So there's a fair amount of thought at several levels which has gone to this. So whenever you get little worried about what's happening, somewhere you just trust the system. That there are well-wishers. They want you to succeed because there is a whole alignment in this. When you succeed, institute succeeds, right? And you're a part of this greater research ecosystem. So trust the system, right? Whenever you feel that some things are not going wrong, not going right for you, right? You have a great advantage as a part of pioneering batch to influence in the way this is going to shape up in the future. So you have a great advantage, but as I said, do trust the system, and I can assure you that we looked at this at board level also, and there's a fair amount of thinking. So you're at the right place, right? You're at the right place. You made this decision. Now you have to stick to it, and say, how do I get best out of this? So again, congratulate once again, and wishing you all the best in this whole intellectual journey, which is going to be very exciting. And I can tell you, based on my own interaction with graduates of similar program, they talk about the difficulty, they talk about challenges, but the end of it, all of them have been very happy with the outcome in terms of what it has done to them, in terms of the way they look at any issue. So I'm quite confident that if you trust the system, do your part, work with a disciplined approach, you're going to be, successful in the program and contribute to your personal journey as well as research ecosystem of the institute and a country. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. I would now request our Director, Professor M. Chandrasekhar, to present Professor Janat Shah a memento as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. So before I give the vote of thanks, I just want to say that as I was searching for content on how to introduce Professor. He's a part of our family, so he said. So I was wondering what is it that they are giving. It's an institute dairy, so. Yeah, so as I was browsing the internet to look for content to introduce Professor Janat Shah, there is a huge content out there. So I was confused as to what to include and what not to include. But then I came across a special section called Special Memories on the website of IIT Bombay, where he had mentioned that IIT Bombay opened up the world with a whole new world of possibilities for him. Now, I know that all of the executive PhD participants have reached a senior level position in many of your respective organizations, but I'm sure IIM Visakhapatnam will open a new door to a new world. So. Now, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude on behalf of IIM Visakhapatnam to all of you who have gathered here today for the inaugural session of the first executive PhD batch. Let me take this opportunity to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Professor Janat Shah. Despite his demanding schedule, he graciously accepted our invitation to grace the occasion and inaugurate the program. Thank you, sir. Your presence has added a significant level of prestige and encouragement to this event. I would also like to thank Professor M. Chandrasekhar, the Director of IIM Visakhapatnam, for addressing the gathering. Thank you, sir. You have consistently been a source of guidance and inspiration for all of us here at IIMV. I also express my thanks to the Executive PhD Chair, Professor Amit Shanker, for addressing the audience over here and encouraging the Executive PhD participants. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to our Dean Administration and ex-admissions Chair, Professor Kaveri Krishnan, and her dedicated team, which also happens to be my team now from the admissions office, Shiv Kumar, Keshava, and Hemaraju for their instrumental role in facilitating a seamless admissions process, and for bringing all of you together here for this program. I also thank the admissions committee members for their continuous support and guidance. I would also like to express my gratitude to all the faculty members who took time out of their packed schedules to be part of the various interview panels that selected all the participants who have joined here today. And last but not the least, I would also like to express our appreciation to our dedicated team from the programs office, IT, projects, and admin team who have worked tirelessly to organize and execute this event. Without their efforts, today's event would not have been possible. Thank you once again, and I would now request all of you to proceed for the group photo followed by IT.